Hey Masterminds, welcome back, and today we're continuing the animation tutorial for beginners. There's a lot of things I didn't get to cover in the first episode, and if you didn't see that, you can go watch that here. Now in part 2, we're going to add a little bit more complex things. We're going to start using better images than just a simple stick figure with a plain background. So this is actually a commission from a fan. He wants himself and his son to turn Super Saiyan and then show their logo in Dragon Ball Z lettering, which is Level Up Gaming. So a fan is actually paying me for this, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how I'm going to do it, and this will help you learn, if you want to do something like this, an animated intro of yourself or something of that nature for your own channels. Okay, so the first thing is obviously you just got to draw your characters. Now, for the purpose of, since this is a beginner tutorial, I didn't do anything in layers, which is what you usually want to do. And we talked about layers in the last episode, or the part 1 of the tutorial for beginners. But for the purpose of this, I didn't draw in a layer. So say that you draw a picture of yourself or a character, and you're like, oh, dang, I forgot to do it in layers, or I wish I would have done it in layers. There are some easy, simple tricks that I'm going to teach you right here that you can bypass that without too much headache. And to be honest, I do that quite a bit on my own. I don't always do everything in layers because it's just a lot to manage. So, for example, this hand is on the same layer as his body. So if I wanted to move his hand, I can't, because it's all one image together. So what do I have to do is highlight the hand and basically cut it out and fill this. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So we're going to get this guy to turn Super Saiyan. So what I think I want to happen is I want his hands to come up, and then I want them to come back down, and then his head goes up and he's screaming and his hair turns Super Saiyan. So in order to do that, first I actually need to make his hands a different layer. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out and make it the next layer. So I just did Control X, Control V. And then for this guy, I should just be able to highlight the colors. And then I also need to highlight this vector art that I drew. I'm just holding shift and I'm just clicking because I want to cut this out. So I need to highlight every single line. And sometimes when you have like little gaps in your shading, it'll break up your vector art. So you just need to make sure that you're trying to catch all of them. And if you miss a couple, you can just delete them afterwards. It's not the biggest deal in the world. Now, obviously, if you knew you're going to do the scene in this way in the beginning, you would have just made his hand a layer on top from the very start. Okay, so I think that's all of it. Cut it out. And now just go to layer 2, or the layer above, and just right-click, paste in place. And boom. So it looks exactly the same, but now I can freely move his hands. But oh wait, there's a gap in his clothing. So let's go ahead and fix that. So for this, I'm just going to hide that layer with his hands so I can see this. And now I'm going to press N, which is my line tool. Now my line tool, I forgot to tell you guys about the line tool in the last video. And the line tool is very, very, very important, especially if you're drawing something like a face. Faces almost always, you want to have like smooth lines. Now if you don't have a graphics tablet, this is why the line tool is especially good. I didn't even do Goku Saitama using a real tablet. I basically just used the line tool, and then if you want to bend it, you can just click in the middle and you can bend it. You can even like shift the way the curve is. And so if I want to do something like an ear, I go like this and just bend it here and then down and then like bend it some more and then in. And there, I have an ear. And then the cool thing about the line tool is like if I click the points, I can even move them in to like make it look a little bit better. So that's why you should, draw on the line tool if you don't have a tablet. Even if you do have a tablet, I still use the line tool for straight lines and for faces. Okay, so we're just gonna finish this. Basically, I've created a border on the outside of here, so I can just connect the lines, which makes it easier for filling. And I'm just going to connect that. I'm going to erase all these little dots that I missed. And now I'm going to press I to pick up this color, and then K. Now you remember you want to make sure that you have closed small gaps almost always, and just fill that in. And then let's just do the same thing for his arm, I, and then K. Actually, no, it automatically switches to K, which is your fill bucket, your paint fill bucket. Okay, so now we have him, and now we have his hands. So what we're going to do is let's keep his body, let's extend it for a bunch of frames. And basically, this intro animation is going to be fairly short. It's just going to be them turning Super Saiyan, and then they're going to be kind of standing there, and it's going to show the logo, and they're going to have like an aura around them. All right, let me see here. So what we want to do is I'm just going to go over here and paste in place because I want to save this image for later. But basically, okay, so that's about a good amount of time. Let's give it a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to take these and slowly raise them up. Now, you could do a tween, but I'm not going to do a tween. I'm just going to do this kind of like choppy, bring them up. Until it gets to, just bring them up here to the very top. Okay, so I don't even need this one anymore. So now it should look like he raises his hands up. Okay, good. So these are your keyframes. They're, you know, if you want to make it come up faster, you know, you would just delete some frames. If you want to make it come up slower, you would extend it frames. Okay, I'm going to actually go back and keep it how it was. And so he's going to bring it to the top. He's going to kind of pause for a sec. And then he's going to quickly bring him down. So I'm just going to give it one frame after that and bring it like really far down. Like enough that, you know what, I'm also going to blur it. Hold on. Let me just bring it down. I'm actually going to bring this up a little bit because I want it to look blurred. So what I'm going to do is right click this, convert it to a symbol, his hands. And then I'm going to go over here to filters. And this is how you add effects to your anything, glows, blurs. You have to convert it to a symbol first. All I did was right click this, and then I did convert to symbol. That's what I did. And then once you do that, click your symbol, come over here, blur, and we're going to increase the quality to high. And could even probably bring this up to about a 6. Now when he brings it down, it's going to look blurred as it comes out of the scene, and it's going to add a speed element to it. It's going to make it look like it's happening really fast. In fact, this really does need to come down much more. Okay. Let's see. Okay, that didn't... Can barely even see it because it's 1/24 of a second. You know what? And I even want to bring this like back a little bit. Like I want to kind of shift the way his hands move. Okay. So after his hands come down, now we're going to have him pop. Now I've done tutorials on this, especially for like an energy blast or something like that, or transformations. This is how you make transformations pop. First, what we're going to do is we're going to create just a single keyframe. We'll just do it up here on a new layer. And basically what we want to do is just create a white square, just cover the whole scene. So it's just gonna be like a flash of light that your eye barely even really notices, but your brain says something is happening. So then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna actually copy this guy. Actually, you know what? Before I do that, I'm gonna create another frame up here with my effects layer or whatever you want to call it, and I'm gonna just do a black screen. So we did a white screen. We did a white screen, now we're doing a black screen. But this time around, I want to copy this guy and paste him in place. And I actually want to make him white. And now what I want to do is I want to add some lines here. I'm actually going to make the lines white so I can see it. I want to make like these big like energy rays coming out. Okay, and we're going to press K and just fill those with white. And I can even make him glow, which I'm actually going to do here. So I'm going to take this guy again, and for the final like pop, here's what I'm going to do. First, let me just hide this layer. This is just a brand new. I just copied this, and I just went to a new frame and pasted it because I'm going to start playing around with it. So what we're going to do here is all the places with dark shading on him, we're going to turn them black. And all the places with light shading, we're going to turn white. And you'll see what happens. Okay, here's one more. And then white for everything with light shading. And then what we're going to do is we're going to give all the white a glow, and it's going to look really cool. Okay, so now we're going to highlight everything with white and make it a symbol. And what I'm doing is just holding shift, and I just keep left clicking every new object with white. Now I'm going to right click, convert to symbol. And then over here, let's give it a glow. So he's turning Super Saiyan, so we want to give him more of like a yellowish glow. So let's do this like really light yellow. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so I'm playing with the strength here and the blur. You just got to play with these like to get them right sometimes. Oops. Okay, let's oh no, I can't move that guy. What am I doing? All right, so on the layer underneath him, I'm going to draw a black box again. So now you can kind of see the outline of his figure in this like darkness, which is going to look really cool. So it's going to be like this. And, you know, I probably need those light rays again, but I'm actually going to redraw them so it looks like they're kind of like moving. And let me see if you can add double glows, and sometimes it adds a cool effect. So let me play with this some more and see if I can make it even cooler. Yeah, that looks pretty awesome. Because you can still like kind of see his eyes. That looks pretty cool. All right, now in this background, I'm going to draw these light rays coming out. Now I have to make sure that I connect these behind him, because otherwise... Let me just play around with this. Let's see how this looks. I can't even tell if this is connected or not. It usually snaps. Okay, let me try and fill this now. Yeah, we're good. We good. All right, so now I have my light rays coming out, and I'm going to highlight all those, convert those to a symbol, and I'm going to give those a glow too. Let's try that light yellow again for these. Okay, cool. So that's what I wanted to do. This is for like the pop, right? And I'm actually going to extend this another frame, and then I'm just going to give that white frame one more. So his like whole pop is like total of 5 frames. And now he's going to be Super Saiyan when it comes out of the pop. So to do that, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to end that frame here and paste in place. Now I can turn him Super Saiyan. But I'm going to redraw his head because I want him to be like looking up in the air, like screaming, basically. So I'm actually just going to delete his head and redraw it. It's going to be like an entirely new frame. but I can keep his body because not too much really changed. So what I'm doing is just reusing this image. I'm just cleaning it up. No need to really redraw the entire thing again. I mean, you can if you want. It might add some value to the animation if you redraw his body too, like maybe arch his back or his neck or something. But for the purpose of this tutorial and for this quick transformation, I don't really see it that necessary. Something I could do is I could like bring him up a little bit. That might help. Or even like maybe turn him a little bit just to like save some time for having to like redraw all of this, which does take a lot of time, by the way, to draw in color that much stuff. So now I'm just going to go over to my drawing tablet and I'm just going to quickly just draw his face screaming, and then I'll show you what we're going to do. Okay, so I just redrew his head basically from a position where, you know, he's going to be turning into a Super Saiyan. Now, I just want to see how that looks real quick, how the transition looks. So he's kind of lifting up and screaming. I mean, it looks pretty good. So I've kind of changed his body size a little bit. I've shifted it, and then I've brought his head up, and he's going to be screaming as a Super Saiyan, and we're going to give him some effects and stuff. Okay? So now I just need to color this and give him the Super Saiyan vibe. So let me clean up his neck a little bit because I had to just draw over some of the shading here to kind of extend his beard. I wanted it to like flare out a little bit since he's turning into a Super Saiyan. So obviously we want it to be gold. And you can just play with the shades of gold. Sometimes it's tricky to get the actual gold color for Super Saiyan correctly, because it does change in the anime quite a bit. So sometimes you want to do 2 shades or... And what I can do is I can make it like a light yellow, and then I can give it a glow, which might help. The problem with that is like if you convert something to a symbol, if there's vector lines in it, they all get blended in. So if I convert this to a symbol, it all gets blended in. But I mean, I think it's okay. He doesn't really need those lines in his hair, I don't think. So let's just give it a glow. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna give it an inner glow of a crisper, almost orangey yellow. Let me find a good one. Like this is good. We're gonna go to high, and we're just gonna increase. Yeah, that looks better. So this gives it almost like a gradient of shading, doing it this way. And now I'm gonna convert that to a symbol, and now I'm gonna give it an outer glow. And let's do a lighter shade of yellow, so it keeps the inner shade as well, and increase the blurs and stuff. Okay. That's pretty cool. The only problem is I forgot to include his damn eyebrows in there. So what I'm actually going to do is I want his eyebrows and this little piece I missed to be in the symbol. So what I'm going to try and do is cut this out and then go inside this symbol and paste in place. Okay, it doesn't paste in the it doesn't paste in the right spot, but I can move it, try and move it exactly where it was. So you have to correct a lot of errors when you animate, guys. I mean, it's just like errors nonstop, but you get used to it after a while. So I just put it in the exact same place. Now I want to come back to my scene. There, now his eyebrows and everything are colored in. Okay, so let's clean up his neck and everything. I'm just actually going to put this hair on another layer and turn off, make it hidden so I can just see better. And basically what I'm going to do is clean up his neck because it looks kind of bad right now. What the heck? And, you know, the easiest way to do this, just, you know, use hotkeys. So press I to use the pen dropper tool. And then it automatically switches to your paint bucket tool. And you press B for brush tool. So right now I'm actually just painting with my mouse. I actually do this quite a bit. It's just faster than moving over to my keyboard. Moving over my graphics tablet. I switch from graphics tablet to computer quite often. They're sitting next to each other, but just for intensive purposes of going faster, especially for like painting, I tend to paint quite a bit just using my mouse, just with a steady hand. Just because if it's like a quick touch-up or something, I don't really need to go through switching over to my graphics tablet. And see what I just did here? If you press V, you can pull vector lines in and connect them. That's also really helpful. That's why vector art is awesome. Okay, so neck is cleaned up. Now I can put this back. Actually, you know what? No, I need to color his face. So let me see what will fit what color. Okay, so his face was this color. Let's just pure paint it. Okay, why don't you want color, buddy? Alright, now it's a darker shade inside his ears. And underneath the nose is almost always dark. And in between his eyes is usually dark. Okay, let's color his eyes, give him some super cyanogen. Make sure his eyeballs, or his actual eye color here is white. Alright, let's do the mouth. So for the tongue, I usually do a double shade for the tongue. I do like a dark pink and then like a light pink, like this. And this adds a really good feeling of depth. And then the throat is black, and then the inside of the cheeks or mouth wall, I usually do like a very dark red. Okay, like that. I'm just gonna clean this up here. And then I just need to make sure the teeth are white. So a quick shortcut is if you need to paint something white, just click this white canvas and it'll pick it up. And you can even make like the inside, if you want to add like a lot of detail and shading, little things like this, you know, like adding this shading to the teeth, it really goes like a long way. So you can do things like that just to like add quality. Okay, so now he's Super Saiyan. And that's pretty good. And so what we want to do is we want to add a ton of camera shake. That'll make it look like the whole place is rumbling and stuff. So I don't need this reference frame anymore. And I'm actually just going to move this part back to here. So I just cut it out and pasted it on top. See how this looks. That looks cool. Now when I add the camera shake, it'll look really cool. So I actually need to, I need a bunch of camera shake. So I'm just going to go back to one of my old scenes, and camera shake, I'll show you how it works, but I'm not going to recreate my whole camera shake thing that I made because it'll take too much time, but I'll show you how it works. I just want to copy it. So I'm just going to copy all these frames. And I'm just going to paste the frames here. Definitely doesn't need to be this long, but basically how camera shake works is if you take a look at this thing right here. So I don't make it the entire screen. I make it slightly smaller than full screen. And then like every frame, I just move it around basically. And it just shakes the screen like crazy. Now what this is called VCam AS3. So you can download this off the internet for free. Or actually Adobe Animate just included a new camera feature. I don't know. I know how to do tweens with it, like camera tweens with it really easily. I'm not sure how to do camera shake with it easily. I'll have to figure that out. But since I already have this camera shake built, I'm just going to stick with that. So let's see how this looks now. All right, so it's looking better. It'd be really cool if his like hair and everything was moving and everything like that. But I told the client that, you know, I'd work on it for 2 hours just because of my hourly rate. So, and that's what we agreed to. So I'm not going to like invest like crazy detail, like his beard flying everywhere, because that'll take like an hour to do on its own. And honestly, this is supposed to be short anyway. So we just want like, let me include the Super Saiyan sound effect, or the aura pop sound effect. So I'm going to go over my DBZ sounds and give it the aura. And I have to give the aura high quality. So, I mean, it'll sound cooler when he's screaming and there's some effect. So, I'm not going to include all that flashing lighting for this. So, here is an aura that a fan actually created for me, and it's really awesome. I can't wait to use this in Anime War. So, if I just control test scene, shows you what it looks like. I'm actually just going to give him this. But I got this from Randoslaw Piotr Dialda. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, dude. He has a channel, and his channel name is Radov Anime. If you want this aura, you can probably message him and ask him for it. I'll put a link for his channel and this aura effect in the description. So if you guys want this, you can message him and ask him for it. But basically what this is, and let me give this a black background so you can actually see. So if I go inside the symbol, what he did is he basically just redrew these flames like 10 times, just kind of moving up. And so it gives it that like real authentic Super Saiyan flare effect. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go back to my commission piece. And I'm actually going to put this behind him. And I'm going to try and resize it to a place where it looks really cool. Maybe something like that. And since I increased the size of this, I'm going to have to increase the glow as well to compensate for it. Okay, so let's see how that looks. It's still too, it's too small. Let's try that. Okay. All right. So what I was going to do is I was actually going to keep this really short because I have to do his son still. So I think I'm actually just going to like end it right here. And if I need to come back and extend it, I can do that. So now let's do his son. So I'm actually going to copy this image of his son. I'm going to go back to the same frame so I can just test this. I'm sorry, the same scene. So I'm going to keep retesting this whole scene to see like how it looks. Now for his son, what I want him to do is I'm actually going to turn his hair into a symbol and his eyebrows. I'm going to make his hair flicker yellow, and then he transforms. Okay, so I converted this to a symbol. So basically what I can do, I'm going to actually cut it, put it as a new layer, and just did right click, paste in place. And let me see what happens when I give it a tint, like a yellowish tint. Maybe something like that. Okay. So what I can do here, I'm going to basically make it a tween. I'm going to take this tint all the way down. And now his hair, if I extend this, his hair will turn, it'll flicker. So I'm going to extend this, and then I'm going to make it like flicker like twice, and then he's going to pop. He's going to pop just like Daddy did and turn into a Super Saiyan. Okay, so you see that how his hair flickers. Basically what I did is I just created tweens by giving it no tint, and then just a few frames and same symbol, and then just giving it a high tint of yellow. Oh, you know what? I should have put the tint up all the way. That would have helped. Okay, it looks better. Okay, now he needs to pop, so we're gonna take, we're gonna do this thing again with the white, black, glow thing, and then we're gonna put that in there. So, whoops, the hell. All right, so white, and I'm just gonna reuse the stuff I used for Dad because same kind of deal. Okay, and then guys, remember for this one, so I'm gonna copy this, and for this one, we made him all white in here. We filled him as all white. Why isn't this filling? Okay, and then we made the background black. For one, and then we're going to take this guy again, and we'll make his hair white. And remember, everything that's a dark shade we make black. And everything that's a light shade we make white. Okay, and then we want to convert everything that's white into a symbol and give it those Super Saiyan glows. Oops. Okay, right click, convert to symbol. Give it some fiery orange glows here. And we'll do that with, we'll extend this black background again. And we want to give him those flares that come out. So I have to draw those. And I'll just use white lines so I can actually see what I'm doing. Okay. Fill it with white. And then we'll make those a symbol. See how I move really quick? I know I'm clicking really fast, guys. I'm sorry, but that's just kind of how I operate now. And give that a glow. And just give it some nice yellow. That's too yellow. What do we use for dad? Yeah, we use the same thing for dad. Okay. It's a little bit. We'll just do that one. Okay, and now the sun is going to be Super Saiyajin. So we have to change his eye color. And Super Saiyans don't have pupils anymore. And we have to make his hair. We're going to do the same thing we did for dad. Change his hair, give it that gradient, that inner gradient. Convert the symbol. Looks like Goten now. We give it an inner glow of a darker yellow. And then we converted that to a symbol. And we gave this a lighter glow on the outside. It's too much. Okay. So that's cool. We'll extend this. We'll give it the Super Saiyan sound effect as well. The aura, I mean. And also the camera shake. So what I just did for the camera shake is I held shift and I highlighted all these frames, and then I right clicked, I did copy frames, and then I came up here and I right clicked and I just did paste frames. And that's an easy way to capture like a whole bunch of frames. Okay, so extend these guys a little bit, and let's see how this looks. Oh, wait. You know what? Little boy needs an aura. So I'm going to add a new layer just so I can go behind him and give him this aura. And for him, he's a smaller frame, so I can shrink this a yay bits. Let's do something like, it still needs to be bigger. Something like that. All right, let's see how this looks. Okay, there's one thing I wanted to change. So they're going to be screaming. I just want to change his mouth here so like it looks like he's screaming more. I'm actually going to delete this mouth and just draw like teeth like he's clenching. Just to add a little bit of detail to kind of add to the effect of the transformation. I'm actually just going to draw this with my mouse. Okay. And it's also kind of laggy here because the Super Saiyan effect is all blurred and everything. It's going to sound cooler when they're like screaming and stuff too. And let's just give him a sky. So I have a lot of skies from my landscape artists that I can use. But, you know, honestly, you could just pull one from Google. And if people tell you don't pull landscapes off Google, don't listen to them. You can use images off Google if you want to for your animations. In fact, I actually kind of recommend that if you don't have a landscape artist, just like try and find some screenshots or some paintings or something that you can use as a background landscape, because it makes a like massive difference. And if you can give credit, do it. But I mean, if you don't know who the original artist is, which you probably won't since you found it on Google, just don't be afraid to use any background art you find on Google. Okay, so I'm going to give him a sky. And I'm actually going to change the sky for his sun because it's from a different angle. I'm going to give his sun a different one. That looks pretty good. All right, let's look at this one more time. Okay, so this is currently almost 5 seconds long, which is actually really long. So I actually want to shrink this a little bit. Because he said he wants the total to be 6 seconds. Alright, so I'm down to, that means I have 2 seconds left. And now I need to basically do the outro. Okay, so now I'm actually going to do the outro since I have this scene done. And I'm going to do the outro in Premiere Pro, and I'll show you how to do that. It's actually pretty easy. But first, in order to do that, and this is just my way of doing this, so, you know, there's tons of ways that you can do an outro or do text over video and stuff like that. I'm going to show you in Premiere Pro, but before I do that, since I know what I'm going to do, I just want 2 images. I want an image of these guys standing side by side, or basically on the same frame. So I'm going to take this guy and with the hands, and I just want to go to a new scene and kind of shrink it to the point where I can put them both on the same page, and then have like Level Up Gaming right here. I'm not going to do the auras though, because it'll be kind of distracting, I think. I think Poppy needs to be bigger. That's too big. And he also needs to be super Saiyajin. Okay, I'm not going to worry about making his hair gold for now. And this guy, I need to extend his... Whoops. I really need to extend his hair, because I had it cut off before. So I'm just going to actually extend it. Okay, that's better. Alright, so basically it's just going to be a black screen, but I want it for 2 seconds. I'll just make it longer, it's fine. I'm going to save this, and I'm going to file export video, and I'm going to go ahead and export that, and then once I have my video clip, I will see you guys in Premiere. Okay, so I'm in Premiere Pro, and here's my folder with the video as it came out here. So all I'm going to do is, this is your source, so I just want to click and drag it into my source. Okay, and now when I have it in my source, I want to skim through and cut out the part that I want. And I do that by pressing I and then O at the end. This gives you your in point and out point, and then you can pull and drag the pieces as you desire. So let's watch it real quick. All right, so One thing I noticed is the auras, that sound. Actually, you know what? I can just cut out this sound. The auras are like that sound travels for so long. So I'm actually going to cut the sound out right here and just delete that, because I don't want all that sound coming out when that like aura sound when the level up gaming thing comes. Okay. And then, you know, I can drag it a little bit, and then I can give it a audio effect, a constant gain, crossfade. Basically, it's an audio transition. It just makes it fade out. I just want this to fade out a little bit so it doesn't like just cut off completely. Okay, perfect. So now they're transforming, and it'll say level up gaming. Okay, so in order to add text, what I need to do is go here to new item, title, okay. And I'm going to click here, say level up gaming. And then I'm going to change the text to that Saiyan font that I downloaded. Saiyan Sans. Now I can freely increase it as much as I want. Make it nice and big. And let's make it, maybe make this like a yellowish. And then make this just pure white. Maybe it should be all the same, honestly. So basically what I'll do is I'll show this to him and see what he thinks. And if he has any minor changes, you know, I will change them. But again, guys, this is like a rare time that I actually do a commission. I don't usually do commissions because I try and invest all my time into Anime War. All right, so that's something. And then what I can do is just put level up gaming there. And, you know, I think I can even make it bigger. So I can double click on that, go back inside. Okay, that's pretty cool. And then maybe I'll put like something like the YouTube logo on there. Now, if they want their own logo, if they create a logo or something, I can always change that very easily. But I just basically dragged it from my folder into here. Okay, so now we have our full. All right, so one thing I can do to kind of add to this is give it a transition. Whoops, so do video transitions and dissolve and film dissolve. And I want to shrink this because 1 second is too long. I just don't want it to blink. I want it to fade in just a tiny bit. Okay, cool. And I also want to give this a sound effect, like a gaming sound effect when it comes in. So I have some gaming sound effects on my computer. Let me pull one real quick. Just add some of these in. Those sounds don't really match, do they? Okay, and then I guess the final thing to do would be to add music. But, you know, I can always let him add his own music at the end. I mean, you can just do that in any simple video editing program. So I think we're done, guys. I mean, I could add some cool music in here, but I don't know what kind of music he wants in the intro. So he has to do two things. He has to add sound clips of him and his son screaming here, and then he has to add music, and he's done. But those are both things that he should technically do on his own part. That's it, guys. That's the animation tutorial for a quick intro. And, you know, again, I'm sure he'll have some changes he wants, or, you know, add some sound clips and stuff like that. And all you have to do is just communicate with me and, you know, I'll fix it. But if you're doing this on your own, you know, obviously you have full control over it. But that's the thing with doing commissions is you have to keep going back and forth with your client to get it perfect for them. So, you know, again, I was trying to do this in under 2 hours. I think I accomplished in about 2 hours. So there you go, guys. That's animation tutorial for beginners part 2, how to do an intro. But, you know, I know this was kind of complicated. It was a little bit more complicated than normal, and I was moving kind of fast. But I hope you guys learned a few things from this, and you can take this to your own experience. And again, if you haven't watched part 1 of the animation tutorial, please go do so now so that you can get the very bare basics. This is kind of like step 2. And then if you want to go any further than this, I have a bunch of tutorials on my channel. Feel free to go watch those for some more advanced things. Thanks for checking out Mastar Media today, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another video. Later!